This is our first episode of Serving Spirits. We're super excited. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching this. So in this episode, what we're doing is Ask Connie, where you could ask me any question at all. There is no bad question. And it's going to be fun because I did not pre-plan the answers on this. Some of them I do know the questions, some of them I do not. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. Also, do not forget, please, to like, to comment, and subscribe, and then hit the notification, that little bell as well, so you get notified of any new episodes that are coming up. Because in the future ones, we're going to be doing some really cool things, like showing you how you can connect yourself and how spirit communicates and different things. So you don't want to miss the new episodes as well. All right. So Stephanie, my manager, Cassidy, my assistant manager and assistant, is going to be firing off some questions to me. So are you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, here we go. What's the first question?
Let's start off with Barb. Barb says, so this is not directly with you. She has a personal question.
Okay.
You can help her.
Okay.
Do you see me finding love again? True fall over heals love. My soulmate.
So I got a yes. But they're bringing forward transformation. I feel like there's some inner work that needs to be done, and this isn't a bad thing. We all have inner work to be done, but if we want to attract the perfect soulmate, then we have to be in that vibration. We have to be a vibrational match in order to do that. And so this is a whole segment on its own. Like I said, I think we're going to do a segment or an episode based just off of this on how to attract the perfect soulmate or the perfect person for you or perfect partner. All right, next question.
All right, next is from Norma P. How does an empath stay positive, productive, and not get overwhelmed in our crumbling third-dimensional reality?
These are all really great questions. So most of you watching are empaths, so this is going to apply to you. It is really difficult being an empath and feeling everything on this earth, I should say. Especially when you're an empath. Empaths absorb energy from others. They absorb positive energy and they absorb negative energy. In order to block out or to not absorb, you have to be aware of it. And it's really, I hate to say this, but getting a thick skin and not taking things personally. And when people say things or they're negative, it's building up your energy field so that nothing can penetrate it. I used to do a whole bunch of protection with my energy field and my aura and cleansing. I don't need to do that as much anymore because I've built up my energy field so strong with Reiki, with Qigong, with just different methods, bringing light into my energy field, shielding and protecting your energy field. And that's a quick and easy thing to do. There are so many ways to do it, but the easiest is just to call upon Archangel Michael to shield and protect your energy field. And imagine you're in this white bubble, white and gold, and then you can even at times imagine that this white and gold bubble is spinning a little bit, and as it's spinning out anything that no longer serves you and your body, as well as your energy field. Those would be the two quickest ways that I can say that, but again, this would be another great episode just based off of that. I could go on and on about that one. But it's really about not taking things personally and building up the energy field. That's going to be your main defense against negative energy. And having that intention too of not absorbing. Every morning it's, I only accept the highest of vibrating people and energy in and around my energy field. And having that intention, but bringing attention. I guess maybe there are no accidents. Or mistakes. So by having that intention, you are putting your focus on that and building it up every day. And every day you do that, it builds and builds and builds and creates more positive energy. Okay, next one.
Next one is from Kelly S. Why is it hard for me to communicate with my guides and angels, even after taking some classes?
Gosh, another great question. And we get that a lot. And really, it's about practice and letting go of the ego. When I say ego, it's the fear, and it's the fear of not being able to hear, of not being able to see, or not being able to feel. So we have 4 primary ways of receiving intuitive information. The first way is clairvoyance, which is being able to see. And it doesn't necessarily have to be able to see with your physical eyes. I can see energy with my physical eyes open, but I can see more when I close my eyes, and it's more in my mind's eye or my third eye where they'll flash an image in. When I'm doing the readings, whether it's one-on-one or open forums, they will flash an image in, and that image means something. Most of the time it means nothing to me, but everything to the other person, or some are symbols for me. So you can start developing symbols, because maybe that might be easier for you to be able to decipher what spirit is saying, because you might be focused on trying to hear spirit. Hearing the same way, just like the clairvoyance, it's called clairaudience with hearing. And when you hear, let's say how I hear it, I don't hear them how we're communicating in my outside ear or outside voice. I hear it in my inner voice. It's like a thought. It fades in and out really fast, and it's in my own voice, and it's very, very quiet. So with that being said, most of you are receiving information intuitively that way, and you don't even realize it, because it does make you feel like you have ADD, because these random thoughts just keep on coming through, and you know, go. I know me. I'm fairly certain I have ADD because I get that constantly. But again, it's also spirit. So the question is it really ADD, or is it spirit, or is it both? So I have a feeling it's probably a combination of the both when people get that. Then there's clair sentient, which is feeling. And I feel a lot with my body. I will feel a stabbing pain in my heart if it's somebody who had a heart attack or heart issue. I won't be able to breathe for a quick second I'll have trouble breathing if it's somebody who had issues with their lungs or their heart as well, but usually more with their lungs. I get dizzy if it's something with the brain. It can be Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke, MS, or something like that. Or maybe the person is just getting dizzy, because I will also feel what the person who I'm reading plus their loved ones on the other side and who are here as well. And then there is claircognizance, which is just a knowing. And sometimes in my readings, I just say things and I don't even know why I'm saying them, but it always means something to the other person. So it's really working a combination of both, of all of them, I should say. And then really honing in on which one are you more predominant in? Because we're generally born with one predominant way of receiving intuitive information. Sometimes people just know things and they don't know how or why they know them. Again, that's that claircognizance. It's just a knowing. So I feel like you might be focused in on hearing, but maybe working with the symbols might be easier for you. So just try creating your own symbols. Maybe it's funny, I just get really dizzy as we were talking about that. So Kelly, you must have someone on the other side who had something, either dementia or Alzheimer's, or whoever is listening could be as well. Just once you start, anybody can do this. You can create your own symbols and make it easier to be able to receive messages that way, and just start keeping track of them. Okay.
Marion W. asked, dreams have overwhelmed me each night. Why do I dream of family and friends that have passed? Every night, one or more are in my dreams, and I feel like I'm busy all night long. Very vivid and intense dreams.
Okay, so loved ones are in our dreams every single night. We just don't remember them. It depends on when we wake up during our sleep cycle. So if you don't wake up during the certain sleep cycle while they're in your dreams, most of the time you're not going to remember them. So what you can do is ask your guides and angels to wake you up during the dream so you'll be able to remember it. That's the easiest way to do it, and then go from there. I know it has worked with some other people to be able to do that. And just keep having that intention every single night, because they are playing with you in your dreams, and they're visiting you, they're giving you advice, you guys are talking. If they were golfing, then you guys are golfing together, whatever you guys used to do together, playing cards, they're still doing all that in your dreams. Okay, next one. This is fun.
Steve W. has, on Earth, time is linear. How is time measured on the other side?
That, again, these are such great questions. So they don't have time like we have time on the other side. We created time. We created boundaries with things and time limits. On the other side, there is no time. There's no time. There's no rushing around. They're an energy, and they can be with multiple people at the same time. That's why they kind of know, or they do know, and like during my one-on-ones or in the open forums, they'll bring things up that you're doing on a daily basis. And people can think, well, how can they, if they're with me, how can they be with my sister? Or how can they be with my mom? It's because it's an energy and it's a consciousness, and they can be with multiple people at the same time. Awesome. Okay, next question.
Steve W. has another question. How do we differentiate whether we are receiving a message from spirit or if it's just our own thought?
All right, Steve, another great question. So that is probably the hardest thing to do when you're learning how to do intuitive work or to work your intuition, is trusting that what you're receiving, because it is in your own voice, is from the divine. The only thing I can say or suggest is to practice. Start writing things down, because you'll start to notice when you start writing things down. And let's say you try to connect with a loved one on the other side, or with your angels and your guides, and you've been doing it every day. And all of a sudden somebody says something and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I got that. Or there was something about that when I was connecting. So you can go back and you can look at your journal and you can actually see where you wrote that and what you wrote surrounding that. That's how they that's how they validate that it is them. They will provide information that people will say later, or people will do later, or things that you'll find out later to know that it is true. And sometimes it's really difficult to discern the difference when you know everything about your loved one. So you do feel like it's your imagination because you are making it up, or that you feel like you're making it up because you know the information. But the reality is, if you're receiving it, it is actually them. It's just a matter of taking time to start trusting it. I know for anyone that is the hardest thing to do. I keep hearing practice. The more that you can practice, even on random people, maybe you take someone who you trust and it's a friend of yours, and just say, hey, I want to try to practice something. I'm going to try to connect with your loved ones on the other side, or with divine guidance, and I just want to see what I get, and just have fun with it for a little bit. That's what I did. I practiced for a long time, and then I did it. I even did it for free for a long time, just so that way I could just try to get the experience in. But again, I was raised with this, so luckily for me, it was a little easier. But I still know that is the hardest thing to do, is trusting that what you're receiving is accurate. And there'll be things that I get that I'm not going to relay. This just happened just yesterday. I was doing readings, and I got the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm like, I don't want to say that. What if I'm offending somebody? And she started cracking up laughing. And that was an ongoing joke about the Pillsbury Doughboy with someone on the other side for years. So it was very on point with their loved one. But to me, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should say this. And it's really just learning to trust the information that you're getting and relay everything that you're getting with discernment. You don't want to tell somebody things that are, negative if you're seeing something. I tell my guides, or I set this up with my guides, you set the parameters. I set it up to where I don't see or hear anything bad that's going to come through in terms of what could happen or what's going to happen with someone. And there's many reasons why. What if I'm wrong and I say it, and then they have it in their head that this bad thing is going to happen, or they're looking for it. You can create your own reality. So I choose not to see anything that's bad with somebody. And I say bad meaning like a negative thing, like as far as car accidents or something like that. So if it's being brought up, it is something that's already happened, to give them validating information. Okay, great question, Steve. Next one.
So kind of on that same vein, Deanne G, when and how did you know you were able to communicate with those gone?
So again, I was raised with this. My mom is amazing. She's an amazing intuitive healer, energy worker. So this was my normal, and I joke about this, and I say this in all the live open forums because it's true. It's growing up as a kid having gifts and a mom who has spiritual gifts. I became the weird kid because back then, this wasn't like it is now. It isn't mainstream. It isn't, now it's cool to be able to communicate with loved ones on the other side. It's cool to have these intuitive gifts for the most part. I think people think that. More people are becoming aware that we are born with these gifts and that we're supposed to be using these gifts. So when I was young and in school, people would say, oh, you talk to dead people, you're weird. And I'm like, you don't? You're weird. So it kind of became like a little bit of a joke because I became the weird kid. So I've been really doing it ever since I can remember, but probably my teenage years is when I really started doing the healings and started doing some readings here and there. And then I just kept expanding on that and doing more and more and more, doing Reiki, getting certified in that, getting certified in multiple healing modalities. I even took some developmental intuitive courses with certain people just to help strengthen it. Because you can never, I don't want to say this, but, I don't want to say you can never have enough, but I always felt like I always wanted more and more and more. Like even now, the only thing I really can't do is I can't physically see them with my eyes open. And then when that, the reason why, because I asked my guides about that, I'm like, why can't I see them? And they said, you probably don't want to see them. And I said, yes, I do. I want to see them. I want to be able to see spirits. I want to be able to see energy. And they said, if you saw all the energies, you may not want to do this all the time. Because already as it is, I'm hearing so much all the time. So if I saw all these energies, it may be overwhelming to me. So they said, you don't need it. You have what you need. So that's good enough for me for now. So you just basically keep on and keep on developing. Okay, next one.
Dawn F asks, can you see the future?
Oh, can I see the future? I can see your future. Just kidding. Yes, I can see some of the future. They will give us glimpses of the future. And it's not to tell you everything that happens. And that's actually a great question, Dawn, because I get that a lot. People want me to tell them everything of what's gonna happen in their life. And that's not why the guides are here. That's not why your loved ones are here. They're helped to guide you. But we are here living an experience for a reason. We're here to make perceived mistakes. We're here to make decisions and have these experiences for our soul growth. So if somebody was telling me everything that I needed to do, I wouldn't be placed in all these experiences where I had to choose to make a choice, or I had to learn how to forgive, or I had to learn how to trust that everything is going to work out. If we're constantly asking for guidance on what to do or how to do something, then I'm not trusting that everything is working out as it should. And it's okay to ask for guidance. I think it's great because sometimes people just need like, okay, what do I need to know for this? And what I love about divine guidance is a lot of times they won't flat out tell you, like I said, yes or no, but they will provide guidance of what you need to know. A real quick scenario, when the kids were little and they were arguing and they started really going at it and they were screaming at each other, you're a liar, no, you're a liar, you're a liar. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to connect with my guides and I'm going to figure out who's lying. So I go off and I'm like, okay, guides, who's lying? And the answer I got wasn't what I expected. They said, it doesn't matter, well, how they speak at that time was, it matters not who is telling the truth. What matters is what one person does and how they react to the other. One could have walked away and could have stopped the negative energy. Instead, they perpetuated it by continuously arguing with each other. And this is a lesson for them, and this is a lesson for everyone. It's all about reaction. How do you handle something moving forward? And then I thought about it for a second. I'm like, that was really good, but I still want to know who was lying. So just tell me. And they don't. They won't tell me that. And they didn't, again, for that same reason, because it was more about the lesson in it and how I could help them. So I kind of did convey the information to them. Of course, they really didn't care at that time because they were really young, but understanding, again, it's really more about guidance. All right, ready for another one.
So this is another dream one, kind of like before, but from Nancy D. My son died 14 years ago. I only dreamt about him twice. It has been said by others that I do, but I probably don't remember them.
Yes, so that's absolutely correct. We just don't remember them. And like I was saying earlier, it's just ask your guides and angels to wake you up during the dream. If you want to be woken up, maybe you just take a chance and see, but that's how we remember our dreams. And if you think about it, that's when let's say not just a dream of your loved one, but when you remember your dreams, it's because you're waking up during the dream, during that sleep cycle. So something is waking you up, maybe an alarm clock. Oftentimes when we wake up on our own, because of the sleep cycle that we're in, we don't remember them. So just ask your angels and guides for that one for help. Okay, next one.
This is from Sarah B. How do you connect with loved ones on the other side who have already reincarnated?
Oh, that's a great one. Okay, so how do we connect with loved ones on the other side who already reincarnated? So you can actually connect with anyone's higher self, whether they're here or not. This happens a lot with pets. Pets will come through, but they've already reincarnated into another soul for another animal. Especially, those are the ones, when they reincarnate, it's because they are one of your spirit animal guides, and they're always going to come back to you. It just will be a different form. I know many of you who have pets and they pass and they're very significant. It's really difficult because they are like your soulmate. It's like a soulmate relationship. They can and they will reincarnate very quickly, and they always find their way back to you, whether it is a stray that somehow you end up adopting, or you go and you pick out something from a litter, or go to someone's house, and it doesn't matter how old the animal is either. That's another thing which is very interesting. So you can connect with their higher self even though they've reincarnated. You can do it with people too. I can connect with with their higher self even though their soul is reborn into another baby. This just happened not too long ago, where somebody had lost a child very early on, and it reincarnated. I think it was a boy on the other side, but they came back as a female. So you still can connect with their higher self. Does that sound good? Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, next one.
Bill would like to know, when is my Sagittarius man going to make a move on me?
Ooh, let's see, Bill. Let's see what the guides have to say about that. It's a great question, Bill. Okay, I feel hesitation. I'm feeling hesitation. And I don't feel like he's going to make a move. If there's anything, it may have to be you. I heard shy, timid, and not sure. So I feel like maybe, I don't know if he's not sure how you feel. I heard May. And again, I don't know if it's, and here's the other thing. When Spirit brings forward a month, because they really don't have time frames, it could be May next year, it could be May in 2 years, it could be May in 3 years. That actually happened with me. My guides had told me something, and they told me April. Well, April came and had gone, but nothing happened. And they kept saying April. Well, it ended up being 2 years later in April where this did actually happen. So unfortunately, I just hear May, but I feel like you're the one that's going to have to do something with this. I heard prompt. You're going to have to prompt something and flirt a little bit. I don't be flirtatious. All right. So next question.
Laura R asks, do you ever receive messages from your loved ones?
Oh, that is a great question. It's interesting because I don't not really anymore. And I know I get this with other people too. They say, well, I don't feel my loved one around me as much, or I don't hear them, I don't see them. Sometimes when we are around them all the time, we're used to the vibration, we're used to the frequency of them. So please know they are still around. And yes, they still give guidance, but I don't specifically connect with my loved ones on the other side. It's more with my guides and my angels, and my clients, whoever's in front of me, whether it's a one-on-one or an open forum, they're guides and angels. But once in a great while, they'll pop through with some information or just let me know that they're still there. And just like your loved ones, they're going to give you signs that they're here. And you can pick a sign too. You can say, I want to see butterflies and maybe they're specific. I have one client that I said it's going to be blue, the black with the blue butterflies. That's going to be them. And she actually went on a hiking trip, and there were 3 black butterflies with the blue had flown on her. One was like on her arm, I don't remember, I think one on her leg, and they had actually flown right on her. So that was the coolest thing. She ended up getting a tattoo with those 3 butterflies on her leg. So you can ask for that to be your symbol, or maybe it's a red cardinal or a quarter or a feather or something, whatever you feel would resonate with you for your loved one. Set that up, and then when you start finding them in random places or seeing them randomly, you know it's them. Okay, next question.
Ooh, I got a chill on that one.
Well,
that was good.
So a psychic chill, real quickly, that means that your body's way of saying something is true. So if you get chills on something, know that it's true. Okay, go ahead.
No problem. Pam C. If I missed a few things at one of your shows, would the spirits try again at another show or reading?
Oh, Pam, another great question. You guys are good. Okay, so the short answer is yes. They're going to keep on trying no matter what. But you have to remember, during a show, there's so much going on and there's so many people. With every person there's like 20 spirits for each person, because they come with not just their people, but coworkers, friends, loved ones, significant others, exes. So they absolutely will keep trying, whether it's through, again, seeing signs, seeing a billboard that's maybe a saying from them or a song on the radio. They will always keep trying, whether it's an individual reading, open forum, or a sign from them. All right, next question.
Tara S. asked, what happens when we die?
What happens when we die? Great question. And I get this. This is an interesting question too. This could be a whole episode on its own, but I'm going to try to shorten this. So when we pass, from what my guides have shared with me, is you choose to go to the light or not. Most people choose to go to the light right away. If they choose not to go to the light, they go in a place that's called maybe like the in-between, but it's not a bad space. The reason why they do that, from what my understanding is, from what they've shared with me, and they meaning guides and angels and loved ones on the other side, is they do that because of their belief system that they had when they were here on earth, believe it or not. Until they go to the light, they still have the ego. And by ego, I'm meaning by the fear. They have judgment, they have all these things. But once they go to the light, they no longer have that ego. They no longer have the fear. And that is why once they're on the other side, they go to the light, they're able to say things that they weren't able to say here, like, I'm proud of you, I love you, or a great one is, I'm sorry. I've had people literally say, that's not my loved one, because they would never apologize when they were here. And so I feel like this is very important to say, because when they're on the other side, they don't have the ego. So going back to this space of the in-between, this space, they still feel quote unquote safe. And it's not like they're in a bad space, but they do have to use that space, our energy to stay in that space. So you may feel fine energetically, and all of a sudden you feel drained. That could be because they are literally absorbing your energy, and they do that to be able to move things, to be able to turn the lights on and off, to be able to do different things, so you know that they're around you. It is, once I explain to them that that it is actually better for them to go to the light, and better for your loved ones to go to the light and go to the other side, they generally will cross over. The biggest thing that they fear is they feel a fear being judged if they go to the light, because at least they know in the space that they're in that they're safe. But it really isn't that way. Everyone goes through a process of reviewing. It really is a life review. And my understanding is it goes kind of fast, but you see where you can make adjustments or see how you could do things better, or like, oh yeah, that really kind of hurt somebody, or yeah, I don't want to do that again moving forward. I want to learn that lesson. And wow, all that resentment I was harboring only hurt myself, or whatever it is. We go through this big, huge life review. And then after the life review, then we go through different stages of healing. We go through different places. They can, so I'm trying to do this on a higher scale, so it's not so long, but I know this question has a lot of, what would you call it? Intricacies, I guess, or facets to it. So there is no perceived heaven or hell of what they think. And I feel like the people who don't go to the light, if they fear they're being judged, they may think, oh gosh, if I'm judged, maybe they're gonna send me to hell or something like that. It's really not like that. And the people who don't want to go to the light, it could be maybe they took their own life. Maybe they had drugs or alcohol involved of their life, or maybe they felt they took advantage of people too much, or lied a lot. Whatever it is that they felt, they may have been a quote unquote bad person, that they may be judged and then be sent again to hell. So once I explain to them that that's not the case, again, 9 times out of 10, they end up crossing over and going to the light. But I want to stress that it is not a bad space when they're there. I know, this could be a whole episode on its own. So I'll probably leave it at that, and maybe we'll do another one based off of this one, because I think it's a great one for people to understand more. Okay, next question.
So last but not least, because she was one of the first ones to ask a question, Jess.
Yes.
How tall are you without your heels?
Oh, I am 5'9". I don't understand why they're laughing.
Without heels.
Oh,
without 10-inch
without
heels.
Without my 10-inch heels? Okay, then I am probably slightly 5 feet. Good one, Jess. All right. Well, I think that sums it up, right? Great question. Again, you can ask anything. Maybe we'll do this we don't know. Maybe we'll do another episode like this, because this was actually fun, just answering random questions. All right, everyone. So again, don't forget to like this, to comment, because it helps with the algorithms, especially because we're just starting out. It would really be helping us out. And hit the notification button and comment. Comment on whether you like this. Let us know what you want to see. What kind of episodes would you like to see? What kind of questions would you like answered, and going forward with that, because that would really be helpful. And then also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, wherever that is. Okay, everyone. Thanks again. Thanks for being here on our very first episode of Serving Spirits, and keep a lookout for the next one.